Well then, it is time to check out the final weapon from Jade's arsenal, the Evensong bow. Now the Evensong, just like all the other Jade weapons, has some special mechanics to it. Fully charged shots explode in a 4-meter radius, and killing enemies with the Evensong grants you and nearby allies Evensong devotion, which increases multi-shot by 35% for 30 seconds. This can actually go all the way up to 70% multi-shot if combined with the bonuses from the Kantare throwing knives and the Harmony scythe. The bow does primarily slash damage with a good chunk of puncture as well, and this goes for both the direct shots as well as the explosion on fully charged shots. And it sports a 25% crit chance, a 2.2 times crit multiplier, and a 38% status chance. And finally you get the blueprint for the Evensong, the same way you get the blueprints for all the other Jade weapons from the new Ascension mission on Uranus, where you have about a 5% chance to get it on every rotation. So let's see what it do, shall we? I have a feeling this is going to be a really good bow, because not only do you get the puncture, like the instant puncture stacks, which reduces the enemy damage and gives you the extra crit, but you also get a multi-shot on top of it. Ooh, hold up, this blows up. I didn't know that, and it just primarily slash. Ooh, bad follow though. How does this work? So that's normal? Okay, so it's just like a lovely little poof. Alright, let's get an adapter. I am torn. I want to go with Deadhead for the easy damage stacks and the headshot multi, but the explosion and reload speed on a bow is nice. And we also have a lot of slash, so there's going to be a lot of damage over time. Chamber for multi-shot, aptitude for the direct hit, and a bunch of status as well. What about like primed firestorm? 5.76, that would help with the fall off, but I think we're gonna put it on if we have space for it at the end. We definitely want to go with viral here. That's like a no-brainer. Crit delay and vital sense. Oh damn, this can run split flights? Well, that could be fun. Yeah, speed trigger. The charge time is a little bit slow. I guess that's gonna be it for now. Alright, level 100, steel path. Oh, that's funky, I like this. The arrows don't seem to punch through at all. So it just blows up as soon as you hit the enemy, which is nice. That's quite cool. The damage isn't too shabby either. Yeah, look at that bombard. Oh yes. Oh, me likey a lot. I do want to run hunter munitions on this, by the way, so let's do a bit of a switcheroo here. I want to try a more headshot focused build, so let's get rid of crit delay and run galvanized scope instead. And let's try that deadhead. Seems to work just fine. Tremendous. This is a-okay. It's relatively easy to hit headshots, he says, as he misses a headshot, but overall not too bad. The draw time with speed trigger is acceptable, and the damage seems to be absolutely fabulous. So if you want to do big damage, a headshot focus build is the way to go. 10 minutes, not too bad. Alrighty then, let's put a D under aptitude. That way, if we D-rank speed trigger by 1, we can put in hunter municiones. Let's bump it up. Ooh, the ramp up is pretty... I was about to say it's pretty bad, but that was a big hit. What the hell? There we go. Once you get a few kills. We do have Harold with us, by the way, to help with some priming. Yeah, once you get a few kills. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's pretty good. That's actually terrific. So this is pretty good, but I'm gonna try something else. Hehe, let's go. Something like this, I guess. I didn't want to run crit delay because I want as much fire rate as possible for split flights, and we're running merciless because good luck headshotting with split flights. Let's bump it back down. Oh, that's well good. Look at this. Let's get a few kills so that merciless ramps up. Oh yeah, once it ramps, it actually does some good damage. That is awesome. I like this way more than the other one. Let's try it in a normal mission. I love me a good split flights belt. I just hope that it's not a mistake that this can use split flights. The damage is somewhat comparable to the other setup, though I still need to take that into a proper mission as well. But it's way more fun, and I will always choose fun over performance. I am so sad that Thunderbolt doesn't really scale with anything, because this would be a tremendous bow to run it on. Acolyte damage is it's not bad, it's just, you know, not tremendous because it is mostly a damage over time setup, though the upfront damage is not bad, especially when you stack up split flights. It actually chunks it pretty hard. It's not amazing. Next on the menu we have the normal build, and I want to compare it in the same mission. Pretty good ramp, that was quick. This focuses more on the single target side of things. You have way more single target damage with this, especially if you're good at headshotting, but it still has some AoE, which is nice. I love how you're not locked into one specific build. Like, this build is tremendous for single target, but if you want to, you can go with a split flight setup and have way more AoE. It is very much a personal preference. Or you can run both and just switch between them. The Forma setup is the same. I think the Acolyte damage is actually worse here because you really want to go for headshots to maximize your damage, and that's kind of difficult with an Acolyte that's constantly running after you. I also want to try the split flight setup, but with corrosive and cold instead. I just want to see whether this is any good or not, though ideally, if you're gonna do this, I would probably run primed cry rounds instead of rhyme rounds. I don't know, it feels okay, but I think I prefer the Hunter Munition setup. You just get more slash procs. Like, the damage isn't bad, and the status proccing is pretty decent as well because of the overlapping explosions, but I don't know. It doesn't feel quite right. Yeah, that's pretty much what I expected. It is much better for the Acolyte, but everywhere else it's kinda meh. So I just woke up, and all I could think about all night was this. Just the Evensong with Blast. Please don't tell my girlfriend I said that. This is actually really fun. Like, genuinely, having the blast on top of everything else, especially with the overlapping explosions, you stack it up pretty fast. This is pretty good. The thing that makes this work, I think, is that we still get a lot of slash from the bow. So we get like a lot of single target from that, and then we have the double AoE from the explosion and then from blast. I'm gonna try this in a mission where the enemy density is a little bit higher, so let's do Apollodorus. Yes, dude, this is it. This is gonna be my build of choice for sure. This is so much fun. We're still getting some really nice hits as well. Like, the damage isn't bad at all. I kinda wanna invest into this a little bit more. Hold up, the Acolyte damage is very good as well. Look at that. Ho ho ho. We're gonna have to be a little bit inefficient with our Forma because I wanna do it in a way where the other two builds still fit. So let's put a dash right here. That way we can run Val Acceleration on the first build as well. The second build should fit fine, yes. We can actually throw in an Exilus adapter and eventually run Vigilante Supplies for the set bonus. And for the blast build, I actually want to try Rifle Elementalist, because this does affect blast damage as well. One down, one to go. Again, this is not very efficient, but we're gonna put V under Vital Sense. This lets us run Vigilante Supplies on the other builds, which is nice. Unfortunately, we're one short for Elementalist, so but just slap on Rhyme Rounds for now. And that, as they say, is that. One last V right here under Thermite Rounds, which is kind of silly, because we have primed cry rounds there with no Forma. I could actually swap it for Galvanized Aptitude now that I'm looking at it, but oh well. Let's find that Rifle Elementalist. There it is. I'm a little bit worried about the punch through though. Oh, one day, Thunderbolt. One day, they make you scale with mods. And then we're gonna be the best of friends. Dude, that's some serious damage. I'm so glad I invested into this. Look at it. It's ridiculous. Let's try a maxed out setup as well. Yeah, the scaling isn't amazing, but we still have that slash in there, so it's not terrible. It's just the AoE falls off a little bit, but 190 Steel Path Grenier? Like, yeah, that's fine. That is A-okay in my book. This is definitely my favorite setup so far. The other Split Flights build was good, but having the blast on top of the explosion, it's just too good. It might not scale as well as the other two builds, because slash is just very strong, but I mean, I'll take this over the other two builds any day. So, in the end, we actually ended up with 3 different builds for the Evensong. My favorite one, by a long shot, is this one right here, which runs Split Flights for multi-shot, Point Strike and Vital Sense for crit, Val Acceleration for fire rate, Rifle Elementalist for status damage, Primed Cry rounds and Thermite rounds for blast and status chance, Galvanized Aptitude for status chance and condition overload, and we top it off with Primary Merciless for damage and a bit of reload speed. And please don't diss reload speed on bows, because reload speed on bows actually affects the speed at which you draw arrows from your quiver. Then we move on to the second, slightly more serious build, which still runs Split Flights for multi-shot, Point Strike and Vital Sense for crit, and Val Acceleration for fire rate, but then we have Hunter Munitions for additional slash procs, Rhyme Rounds and Malignant Force for vital and status, as well as Galvanized Aptitude for status chance and condition overload. We also managed to fit in Vigilante supplies, not necessarily for the mutation, but mainly for the set bonus, and we're also running primary Merciless because getting headshots with split flights is very difficult. One change you could make here if you want more crit at the cost of a bit of fire rate is actually replace Point Strike with Critical Delay. And finally, we have the most serious, primarily single target focused setup, which still has a bit of AoE from the explosion, and this one runs Galvanized Chamber for multi-shot, Galvanized Scope for crit chance, and then Vital Sense for crit damage. And then the rest of the mods is the same. We have Hunter Munitions, Rhyme Rounds, Malignant Force, and Galvanized Aptitude, as well as Vigilante supplies, though for the Arcane here, since we have Scope and we already need to go for headshots, we're actually running Deadhead. The Evensong is an absolutely tremendous bow. It's a ton of fun to use, and even if you focus mostly on single target, you still get a nice chunk of AoE from the explosion. It's relatively easy to get, it does great damage, it's good fun, and unless you're going for 3 builds like me, the 4-mana investment to get it going isn't gonna be that crazy. So I would absolutely recommend you give it a shot. And as always guys, I thank you very much for watching and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Then I would also like to extend a special thank you to all the channel members. Thank you very much guys, I really appreciate your support, it means a lot to me. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.